Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is LaShawn and this is Lush Uncut. So, breaking news out on this lovely Wednesday evening. Squad member Cori Bush has lost her primary election against St. Louis Prosecutor Wesley Bell. The final results of the race was 51.2% for Bell and 45.6% for Bush. Obviously, this is a pretty big upset for the far left brigade of the Democratic Party. Some people are celebrating, some people are not. Here is a small snippet from Cori Bush's post-defeat remarks.
See, now I don't have to worry about some strings that I have attached, and as much as I love my job. But all they did was radicalize me, and so now they need to be afraid. I don't think that anything, there is nothing that happens in my life that happens in vain. So if this happened, it's because it was meant to happen. And let me say, it's because of the work that I need to do. And let me say this. AIPAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
You know, every time I see Cori Bush speaks, it always looks like she's preaching to a congregation on a Sunday morning. It's very rare to see someone who is just naturally so preacher-y. I can't find another word, but it comes to her naturally. She doesn't even have to try. That's just how she speaks. I've come to the conclusion that she was actually meant to be in ministry in the church, but she decided to sell out her morals and her religious principles for political power. And unfortunately, it has ended abruptly and quite embarrassingly, in my opinion. Obviously, there are some folks on the right that are ecstatic about this. Cori Bush is known for being super radical. She is a race baiter. Again, she's very pro-Palestine. She's all the things that is very annoying to most Republicans. However, I do think that there should be a little bit of pause before celebrating this when we consider how exactly this race was conducted. I think one question that people are really not asking is who actually won this race? And the answer to that is AIPAC. This is an excerpt from an article that was posted in the Washington Post earlier this morning talking about the race and how is it that Bell was able to defeat Bush. Bell headed into the home stretch of the primary against Bush with a sizable monetary advantage thanks to the backing of a powerful pro-Israel lobbying group, the AIPAC, through its Super Political Action Committee, United Democracy Project. The group has led a campaign in recent election cycles to push out candidates they view as anti-Israel. By the end of June, Bell had 4 times as much cash on hand as Bush. Outside groups, mostly the pro-Israel lobby opposed to her pro-Palestinian views, spent more than $12 million in ads that attacked Bush and supported Bell, according to the Washington nonprofit Open Secrets. So a couple of points before I continue. I'm sure this is obvious to you, but I think I should still mention it. I am not in any way, shape, or form a fan of Cori Bush. I think she's a horrible politician. I think her principles are trash. I think her policy ideas are trash. And I do think that it is a net benefit that she is no longer going to be in Congress. However, I am also not a fan of Wesley Bell. I looked into him and he is just as radical, just as far left as Cori Bush. The only difference between the two is that he is pro-Israel and she is not. Matter of fact, she's pro-Palestine. So that really is the only difference between the two. I think when it comes to this whole AIPAC conversation, because I was first introduced to AIPAC when a couple of months ago there was that controversy surrounding their role in the election where Jamal Bowman lost his primary against the pro-Israel candidate. And a lot of people, mostly on the left, were saying that it is unfair for this group with all of this money to come in and throw all of this money into a candidate because of this one issue. And I assumed that AIPAC was a right-wing or conservative super PAC, or the case may be. It turns out that they are bipartisan. And if you knew this, excuse my ignorance, I learned it today when I was looking into this. I actually went on their website and this is the first thing I saw. We stand with those who stand with Israel. The AIPAC PAC is a bipartisan pro-Israel political action committee. It is the largest pro-Israel PAC in America and contributed more resources directly to candidates than any other PAC. 98% of AIPAC-backed candidates won their general election races in 2022. 98%. So it seems as if whoever these people choose wins. And the fact that they're only concerned about this one issue, which is maintaining the relationship between America and Israel, making sure that American support for Israel continues, and fighting anti-Semitism and anti-Israel sentiments in America. That actually concerns me, because my main issue, the one thing that drives my, political perspective is America first, not Israel first, okay? Because we live in America at the end of the day. And I think another question that a lot of people are asking is, where is all of this money coming from? They have maintained, judging from the little bit of research that I did, that all of their money are coming from American companies and so on and so forth. So it's not as if, according to what's online, the money is coming from Israel or any other foreign entities or whatever the case may be. But I still don't like that it is this one issue that is, driving the force behind these elections. And again, I am happy that Cori Bush is gone, but I do not think this is how elections should be conducted. So I did some more digging on AIPAC's website, because I was like, you know what, maybe it's just a couple of candidates, maybe it's just a couple of races. We do have these people that are very, very, very anti-Israel, almost to the point of supporting Hamas, i.e. Cori Bush. But no, it's a lot more than that. If you go on their website and you look to see who they're supporting, there is an endless list of politicians. I mean, the list goes on, and this is across the country. And again, this is a bipartisan super PAC, which means that it doesn't matter if the person is Republican or Democrat, as long as they're pro-Israel, they get their money. That is so problematic to me. And granted, maybe they only support in primary races. Maybe when it comes to general elections between a Republican and a Democrat, they just leave, they throw their hands up. Maybe I need to do a little bit more digging. But my concern is, what if there's a case where there's a Democrat that's pro-Israel and a Republican that maybe feels like we should stop sending weapons to Israel, or maybe we should prioritize getting the American economy together before funding Israel's war against Hamas. Maybe, we should put America first. What if that's the case? And then AIPAC, because of that, goes and backs the Democrats. Again, maybe that never happens. I am open to correction. I'm totally fine with it. But what if that happens? That is a problem for me. And I think when it comes to super PACs in general, this is the one thing that I tend to be a little socialist on. I know, don't shoot me. I do not like the way money impacts our elections. I do not like that we have these dark money groups, these people somewhere out in the ether that's throwing millions of dollars behind candidates based on whether it's being pro-Israel or pro-abortion or pro-whatever, and then determining who gets to be in Congress and make laws for the entire country. It is not fair, because that means that the richest among us are making all of the decisions for the rest of that. And to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not very democratic. So all in all, to conclude this rant, I'm going to say this again. I am happy that Cori Bush is no longer going to be in Congress. I do feel like, and I want to make this clear in terms of my stance with Israel and Hamas, I do feel like it is in America's best interest to help Israel with this war. However, we need to be more clear about our goals, how we are going to get there, how we are going to end this conflict, because this idea of endless American taxpayer support for a war on the other side of this world, the world, I'm not okay with. Okay, I am not okay with, and we don't know how long this conflict is gonna go on. What if Harris gets into office? I highly doubt that this conflict is going to come to an end if she goes into office. So my point of that is saying, if we are going to support Israel, we have to figure out how we're going to end things. But at the end of the day, if it came down to choosing between getting our economy together and prioritizing our citizens and our country and supporting Israel, I am going to choose America every time.